Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast post-game show. Excuse me. We are going to break down the Bills' 23-20 win over the Cleveland Browns, and we have a special guest, Mr. Pex Vin, who's going to be joining us to break down the show. So, with that, welcome to the podcast. I'm Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill, Mr. T. Reese, and guys, how are we feeling about that game that was much closer than it probably had any business being?
Not too good, in my opinion. We should have wiped the floor with them. We should
I
have wiped the floor with them.
agree. They should have stomped them. This game showed though what feels like a constant problem for the Bills this year, where it feels like they're looking past a lot of these teams when they shouldn't be, especially with the quality of the team they have out there. There isn't a team in the league that this Bills team should be looking past. We saw it with the Dolphins game. I mean, the one thing I will say about yesterday is I never really felt like they were going to lose. Like they felt like they were just ahead, just enough that they were going to squeak it out. But they definitely felt like they were looking past them.
Well, this was one of my pet peeves with McDermott and them. They went completely safe and cautious in this game. They only ran to one side of the field. They did every pass play to one side of the field. So what did you think was going to happen in the second half? And they got a good defense, and I said that before in the last one. They adjusted, and we didn't. We just kept running the same crap through the same spot. So they made the game harder than it needed to be. And then defensively, I don't know why you wouldn't press their wide receivers. Why are we giving zone coverage to their wide receivers? To be honest with me, Shedeur can't throw down the field. He hasn't done it the entire season. And they don't have any receivers that should be scared. Same way everybody plays the Bills, the same way we should have played them yesterday. We should have been pressing up on their wide receivers, forcing Shedeur to have to make decisions in the pass game. That's what we should be doing. Stop the run, force him to throw the ball. And for some weird reason, Shaq Thompson went down. So that changed the linebackers because Bernard, I don't know what that guy's doing on the field. I don't. He's wasting money right now. He's wasting money. I get it. He has a few injuries, but he's not even – without the injuries, he's never in position. He's not in position for anything. I watched a guy blitz behind Bosa. Why are you blitzing behind the defensive end? You got to go on the outside, force that tackle to decide to take the inside guy or the outside guy. He runs behind him, and they catch him on a freaking pass to the flat to the running back. And I'm like, they have a lot to fix. I shouldn't be surprised because I still think they played this game way too safe.
Well, and it's curious to me, right? Like looking at the week before, they played Chicago, that was Cleveland, and they lost 31-3, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I wouldn't say, I know Chicago's got better weapons than the Bills do, but I certainly don't think Caleb is better than Josh Allen. But like combined between both of these quarterbacks yesterday, 180 or 287 passing yards. Shedeur had 157. Allen had $130. So like if you take away James Cook yesterday, I mean the Bills barely had over 300 yards of offense, like entirely with the whole team. Like what are we doing?
They lose that game if you take away James Cook.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They lose that game 100%. McDermott is always playing a soft offense, soft defense. For being a defensive coach, I think that, in my opinion, we could have done a lot more disguised blitzes yesterday and forcing Shedeur to make mistakes because he is a rookie. He played it very safe, like Reese said, with the playing our DBs off. Why are we giving them this much respect? Like they're these top five receivers. They're not. They don't deserve that type of respect. And not to mention that, but they don't have a top five quarterback. I'm sure Shedeur may become decent at some point, or even possibly good at some point. But he's no Josh Allen. He's no Pat Mahomes. So to give him and those receivers the type of respect that you're giving, your Mahomes and your Xavier Worthies and your guys that can really stretch the field, to give that type of pushing, I just think you're doing yourself a disservice. You're giving them 5 to 10 yards of play. They're going to walk right down the field on you just like Cleveland did.
Well, even the defensive line. I mean, let's not forget now, guys. I mean, you guys paid attention who was on the roster on defense this game? They sat Ogunjobi. They brought in Mathis, and they brought in and Andre Jones Jr. or the hell his name is. And again, this is my issue with McBee. It's again he it's not the Bills are played down to to their opponents. It's the coach that plays down to the opponents. And so they need to make it, you got to pretty much make that point to people. It's not the team, it's the coach. And I was so irritated watching. I said, if you had all hands on deck and you blow this team off the field, you can take out all your starters. You have to worry about injuries. You don't have to worry about anything. You just take everybody out. You're up by, you blow them out. You're up by 28-3 by halftime. Josh plays part of the third. He's done for the rest of the game.
Yep.
But instead, they played cautious. It seemed like they didn't want to get anybody hurt. They were worried about somebody getting hurt, which, again, I'm like, okay. But still, just go in there, handle your business. You can get Josh out of these games early.
Well, and that's a point right there, Reese, because look at because of the game was so close and because of some of the boneheaded decisions that were made on the offensive side of the ball. And I get it, part of it was Josh's fault, but dude almost literally broke his ankle on that play where he went backwards for 23 yards and almost fell into the end zone, giving them a safety right there. He literally almost cost the team 2 points right there. I don't know what the hell Allen was doing there. I know it was broken coverage, and I think Dawkins fell down. But still, it was the play where Myles Garrett ended up getting a half a sack on that one play. But what are we doing? What are we doing?
Your offense is getting almost 10 yards a clip running the ball. And that position, that on that particular possession, I'm thinking to myself, just run the ball again.
Yeah. Just run the ball. Yeah, force them to stop it.
It was like what was it, 3rd and 4 or something like that, or 3rd and 3 or something weird like that. It was a short distance, and they sat there and they run a pass play on your own end, knowing all game you've been trying to be safe against Myles Garrett, which pissed me off too. Because let's be honest, Myles Garrett is a great pass rusher. He's the greatest defensive players ever playing the game. No one's ever said he's been good at stopping the run.
No,
why are you running away from with the running back? Run at him. That's the best way to get him out of a play, is to run right at him.
But it was working. It was working.
I don't understand what our whole it was probably the worst game plan of the year.
Honestly,
Miami game, I think the players just kind of fell apart. You didn't have any weapons. This game might have been the worst game plan of the year with a win. And they just barely pulled it out because James Cook got him up high, got him up in the lead in the first half. But again, this is all coaching right here. I don't understand why you're not blitzing a rookie. Normally he blitzes these rookies. This game, he just kind of sat back. And granted, fine, you got your 2 turnovers, whatever. That's fine. But this game should never been that close in the second half.
Well, that's what I didn't understand.
Sorry, Vin. Every time he tried to blitz, Shedeur took off running, and he gashed him for big runs.
He's not even known for running.
They weren't barely blitzing him. And then when they were blitzing him, they were blitzing with freaking Bernard, who doesn't have a clue what he's doing on the field.
Well, that's what I didn't understand, is why were we blitzing so infrequently when you have a rookie quarterback? You know that blitzing him is going to force him to make bad decisions.
Yep.
These guys already, as a rookie, these guys already are having a hard enough time trying to pick up the speed difference between college to the NFL. And then to go from picking up the speed difference to having, disguised blitzes and things coming at you from all different angles, you're going to be forced to make mistakes. Those mistakes are going to end up in interceptions, fumbles, whatever the case may be. They're going to have mistakes being made, but instead McDermott decides to just sit back and just let the defense play it out, give him a huge cushion, no spy on Shedeur whatsoever. The kid's got legs.
No, he doesn't have legs. He's a terrible runner. He's never been known for running. He's not a scrambling quarterback whatsoever.
I'll tell you what, he scrambled the hell out of our defense.
Well, yeah. If you sit there and open the door for anybody, Stafford would have ran for 10 yards on us. You're opening up. The pass rush lanes were terrible. I don't have a clue. And you cannot. And again, they had 3rd and 4th string defensive linemen playing in this game. I don't know why. Why Ogunjobi got sacked. I don't understand what the game plan was.
It also helped that we knocked their rookie running back out of the game too. We got lucky because he was running pretty well too.
They would have to change the game plan, because I think if Jukins was playing in that second half, and he didn't change, and he stayed with the game plan he had, we would have lost.
They would have lost.
They couldn't stop
it. There is one player that you personally, T, should shout out for having a pretty good game.
Your boy.
What?
Your boy, Gregory R.
Hold on. Let's be honest here, okay?
He had a couple good plays.
He got a sack over Shedeur with the time he was sitting in the freaking pocket. How many times in that game do we watch him sit in the pocket all game and zero pass rush with Rousseau on the field?
You
Now
just
he
can't
wants
ever
to
give your
show
boy
up.
credit, can you?
Now he wants to show up when a guy sits in the pocket for 5 seconds and nobody else can seem to get to the goddamn quarterback.
I mean,
Now he wants to sack him.
I'm going to have to agree with Reese here. I think that, I mean, he made a couple good plays, but I mean, consistency throughout the entire game. I wouldn't say he had a good game. I'd say he had a few good plays.
That's
Yeah.
it. I'm sorry. I'm not giving him credit for that.
You heard his name, right?
Which is the first time in a while.
Yeah. But one of the things I wanted to touch on.
And then on top of that, when your head coach after the game is like, yeah, that's what we're looking for. No shit, that's what you're looking for.
That's what we're looking for from our $24 million
Yeah.
defensive back.
$24 million. He played complimentary football.
I was so confused when he said that. I'm like, so you're telling me you're not happy with him either? You're telling us publicly you're not happy with him either because he doesn't do anything.
Tell him why you mad. Tell him why you mad.
Dude, those were coverage sacks. That's all. That's all it was. And it still took 5-6 seconds for someone to get back there to get to him.
Now, this guy's going to have a fucking aneurysm, man. Don't bring up fucking Rousseau no more.
I can't stand. I know it just annoys me that we paid this guy, and I'm glad. I know, and again, I said it before. He's second tier paid. That's fine, but you expect some splash plays out of this guy. You expect him to show up every so often. The guy doesn't show up at all, and the time he does, we're giving him all this credit for someone sitting in the pocket. It took 6 to 7 seconds for somebody to get back there. 6 to 7 seconds. How long does the quarterback have to throw, Vinny? How long does the quarterback have to throw?
I mean, in my opinion, less than 2.5 seconds.
3 seconds tops.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Yeah, your top tier quarterbacks are cutting it loose in 2.5 or less.
Yeah. So tell me, if that's any other quarterback, there's no sacks.
Yeah,
there's no sacks on that play. So let's not give him all this credit. He went against a crappy quarterback who had no idea what he was doing. And still, that quarterback had 6 to 7 seconds to find somebody to throw the ball to.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure if I was playing quarterback and you guys were my offensive line, Rousseau couldn't sack me.
It's awful. It's awful.
And I'm slow. I run like a 10-minute 40.
And you know what else? I'm gonna tell you this. That what's his name? The rookie, the defensive line, the big guy that we got. Why am I blanking on him?
Judon?
No. The rookie, the defensive tackle, the big dude, 96. What's his name?
As soon as you say Judon, I'm expecting Paulie B to just jump in here like a genie and start cussing people out.
No. Well, anyway, everyone's giving this rookie all this credit. He hasn't done shit. The guy's terrible coming off the line. He comes off the line too high. He goes through the wrong gaps every single time. That's another reason why you get run plays. It's because you got a bunch of rookies out there that still can't seem to figure out how to play their doggone gaps. I mean, at some point, you would think these rookies would have some sort of progression. But let's be honest. People don't point out the fact is your boy, McD, and that defensive staff have not developed a defensive lineman yet.
Are you talking about Deion Walker?
Deion Walker. They have not developed a defensive line yet. Even Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver shows up every once in a while, but the guy can't stay on the field. And then he has these games where he disappears. They have never, as many of them that they drafted, they've never developed one.
Well, because I don't think McD is as good of a defensive mind as they try to give him credit for at all.
No, I think his defensive mind's there, and it's always, as I said before, personnel choices, draft choices.
But at the end of the day,
guys that go against what they're trying to do, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
But at the end of the day, a defensive mind is all of the above. It's not just what defense you run. It's not just how you structure your defense, but it's also personnel choices. I mean, that all goes into it. So to me, if you're making incorrect personnel choices and you're making incorrect defensive game plans, your defensive mind, you're shit. I mean, at the end of the day, you're shit. I would be more confident, and I can say this from personal experience of having you call my defense. I would rather have you call the fucking defense than have McDermott call it.
I would have had Shedeur lit up. I'd have had that dude lit up. You can give me
all day long.
We had a bunch of Sour Patch Kids, and I threw them out there. We'd have probably just sacked him 20 times in that game. He sat back there. I mean, like the dude was sitting in the pocket all game, though. Think about that. All game, you got Shedeur just sitting in the pocket. No pressure.
He did have a lot of time to throw. He had a lot of time to throw.
And that's my point. And then you bench all your starters for some weird reason because you think you're just going to coast through this game, and you damn near almost lost it. You know you got to win these games for the rest of the season. Why are we?
I mean, let's
still
be
trying to
honest here.
figure out who we can put on this defense. Still, you haven't figured this out yet.
Well, let's be honest here. What are you going to do next week when you're facing Saquon?
They're in trouble.
Well,
that's going to be a problem.
You know what the thing is, though? I'm this one of the things I wanted to get to on this pod because I don't really know if this team is going to truthfully be tested that much between now and the playoffs. And the reason I say that is because it's something we were talking about on one of our prior pods. Philly doesn't really have much to play for anymore. They can't get the one, and they're pretty much locked into the 3 because Carolina or Tampa is going to get the 4 in the NFC, and they're probably not going to catch Chicago because Chicago is very likely going to win out. So if Philly's locked into the 3 and they've won their division, Dallas can't catch them anymore. Philly going to sit people for the next 2 weeks?
No.
I don't see them sitting people for the next 2 weeks because then you're looking at shaking off way too much rust before the playoffs.
Because if it's McD in that situation, he sits everybody. But Philly,
McD's already started sitting people like Keon Coleman for the playoffs.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, the Bills need these games. Like it's no doubt the Bills need these games. Philly doesn't need them at all. Philly does not need the next 2 games.
Well, that's another fucking problem I have. Is what is with the on the bench, off the bench with fucking Keon Coleman here? Like you've spent the entire season yapping about the kid sitting him on the fucking bench, but you haven't structured any of your offense towards what he's good at.
And listen, I'm sorry, Bills Mafia, if we're going in on a win game. I know we won, but they deserve criticism for the way that game went.
Well, not all wins are great wins, though.
No, but there's things that are in your control. And if you didn't, it's your fault the way the game went. It had nothing. This was all coaching. This entire game plan, everything was all coaching.
That game could have been.
Let me ask you this: why is Miko Coleman in the game to do 1 return on a kick? Why are we benching wide receivers like Gabe Davis? So we got Miko Coleman out there to do 1 kick. Never seen him the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Or a punt return. You never seen him the rest of the game. What was the whole point of that? Why are we getting all these 3rd, 4th, and 5th string defensive linemen in this game? You just with no game plan, you thought they're just going to go in there and just run shock on them and just completely take over. Your defense hasn't done it all year.
Let's be completely honest here. You can't game plan like that against these teams because at the end of the day, these are still NFL teams.
Right.
They are NFL players, and you need to give them at least some form of respect. And he's just not doing that. He does not game plan. I could see us game planning well for Philly and beating Philly and losing to the fucking Jets because of the way he game plans.
Yeah.
Well, my problem with Philly is, listen, if you're going to talk about sitting people, maybe they don't throw as much. But they're a smart coach, and you got Saquon Barkley, you run the ball every down.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single down.
He's going to run it until we can stop it.
And that's my point. But Philly has this tendency of not giving the ball to Saquon. They don't. Philly, and that's part of the problem with them. Is they don't.
Philly's a weird team, dude. Philly is such a weird team.
Philly's coach is as dumb as McDermott. Like, how do you have Saquon Barkley and you don't use them? Or you have games where you don't throw a single ball A.J. Brown's way. Like, the coaching in Philly makes 0 sense to me.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of, is that Saquon rushed for 134 yards yesterday? And maybe a light pops off in his head. It's like, man, maybe I should run a little more.
Well,
and they're probably run the ball down our throats.
I think Philly's game plan yesterday was probably very similar to our game plan, though, because they were facing a 3rd-string quarterback in Washington yesterday. Because they said, Daniels is done for the year, right? So I think Philly was kind of doing the same thing we were doing. Like, let's just get through this game. Let's just beat this team and just be done with it.
Yeah, but they've been like that all year with every team. I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they've lost a lot of weird games this year, Philly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they have bad personnel choice decisions that are poor. I'm like, I don't understand. Your best player, I don't care about A.J. Brown. I don't care about Smith. I don't care about Jalen Hurts. Your best player is Saquon Barkley on that roster. He is, bar none, the best player on that roster. And you don't give him the ball.
Easy. Yeah, I don't even think Jalen Hurts is that good, to be completely honest.
No, he's not.
Like, if you had me rank quarterbacks, he wouldn't be in the top 15.
But here's what I'm worried about is the Bills cannot do a pass rush and they can't stop the run. Now you're going to have Jalen Hurts this time sitting back there. Do you think Jalen Hurts is going to look the same way Shedeur did?
I mean, I don't know.
No.
I mean,
but,
he can
but the
actually
thing,
run.
but that's the problem though, Reese, right? Because like, when is this team really going to get tested? I mean, with the way things look right now, and we'll get into the playoffs in a little bit here, but like the way things look right now, they're going to play the Eagles, and your point, say they're probably just going to run Saquon down our throat because that's our weakness is our run defense. Then we play the Jets, and I mean, let's be honest, that game. They're probably not even going to have a game plan for that game because nobody has a game plan for the Jets. They just got blown out by the Saints. I mean, the Jets are actively trying to lose. So, and then what? Then we go into Pittsburgh. We just blew them off the field. You know what I mean? So, are they gonna? When is this coaching staff going to turn it on? When we have to go to Jacksonville.
Well, yeah, that's where the problem. That's where the problem is going to be. Is we're going to end up like we always do, deep into the playoffs, and they're going to be out coached again because it's going to show once they play a team that actually has some a team that's worth their salt. When they play them, that's when we're going to see that we're out coached and our game plan is shit. And that's when McDermott's going to be exposed like he is every fucking year.
So outside of like Sean Payton in Denver, though, I mean, are there any coaches that are that much actually better than McDermott that we're looking at?
This guy Liam Cohen in Jacksonville is going to win Coach of the Year.
I don't know. I still don't think Jacksonville's actually that good.
I mean,
they just blew Denver off the field. They just blew the number 1 seed in the AFC off the field.
And they also did that in Denver.
I
think there's more something to be said about Denver than Jacksonville.
No,
I
don't
agree.
Denver's beaten a lot of good teams this year. I mean, I'll agree with you about the Patriots being frauds. Denver's not a fraud team.
See, now I'm gonna disagree. I don't think the Patriots are frauds.
Oh boy, here we go.
I don't.
Here we go.
Listen, at the end of the day,
I Brady jersey on, Chief.
Listen. No, first of all, I would let's cut that right there. I am not under any circumstances comparing this Patriots team to the Patriots team of old.
No.
However,
what I'm saying is you're a Pats fan. Put on your jersey.
I'm not a fucking Pats fan, you prick.
How many Patriots jerseys?
You watch your mouth before I have fucking Groot show up and whoop your ass.
Jerseys do you own?
It's funny. Pecoraro is actually pronounced. It's pronounced Portnoy, not Pecoraro.
Yo, this fucking guy. Listen, at the end of the day, man, I don't think they're frauds, man. I think they're playing good football right now, and in my opinion, I think they're a team to watch. It's going to be tough. I don't want to play them in the playoffs. At least not with.
I will play them all day in the playoffs.
I don't want to play them in the playoffs, especially not with McDermott fucking coaching my team.
No, what do you call it? The issue you have. My problem with the Patriots is again they haven't really been tested, and the one time they did get tested, they lost. And here's my issue too with the Baltimore game. Henry doesn't fumble on that. When they get in the red zone down there, they're up 14-0. It's a whole different game.
Well, Baltimore screwed up. They don't get the ball anymore in the fourth quarter either.
I mean, they took Henry out of the game. There was 12 minutes left in the game. They were up by 11, and they took Henry out of the game.
Yeah.
With the backup quarterback in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just fucking stupid. That's as stupid as Pete Carroll not giving the ball to Lynch.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much more Baltimore. I mean, they're pretty stand pat when they have their players that they like. I don't know how much longer Baltimore can put up with Lamar. And this guy he just doesn't stay on the field, especially late in the year. Every year he gets knocked out and he can't play for multiple weeks. He's killing that franchise, to be perfectly honest.
They were saying something about that on I think it was on Cowherd today, where it was like, dude has missed a practice every single week for the last 10 weeks.
Yep.
Including and not counting the injury, since the injury. Dude has missed practice at least once a week for various reasons.
Let me ask you this. Do you see Josh coming out of the game?
No, never.
Never.
Your boy gets one little splinter in his finger. He takes himself out the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Josh is I think Josh is very much old school. That old school, I'm going to tough it out. I don't care what happens. I'm good to go. He's that guy that he's going to, even if he is hurt, he's going to play through it.
And the thing is, it's good and bad at the same time. But my thing is with Lamar, if Lamar got the same injury Josh had, he doesn't come back in the game.
No, Lamar's out for 3 weeks.
He goes right to the bench. My ankle. I can't
Yeah,
play.
yeah, he's not telling anybody that he ain't sitting there at the end of the game telling everybody it's all gravy. He's getting stretchered out of there.
Yeah. I don't hear nothing from any of these Baltimore fans. You guys can't say anything. Don't even talk about your team no more. You have a quarterback that quits on you every year. All it takes is one little bump, and he quits on them the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You're in the hole this year because of him.
Yep.
He doesn't want to stay on the field.
yeah,
I mean, he took a bump. It was an odd hit. No quarterback pulled himself out.
Well, dude, I mean, let's be honest here. Pittsburgh's going to beat Cleveland next week, so I mean, the Ravens are done.
Let's hold off on that.
I'm not even worried about it, dude. Pittsburgh just beat Detroit. That nobody and Detroit needed the game.
And Aaron Rodgers plays good football at the end of the season.
What did
we
I
all
tell
know
you
that.
about that division playing against each other?
That can I say something? That Detroit game, the refs at the end of that Detroit game, Detroit scored the touchdown, but he totally teased those Detroit fans.
That was stupid. That was so stupid.
Well, again, that division, they beat each other all the time. Trust me. Don't be surprised Cleveland wins that game. Because Pittsburgh is not good either.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think Garrett's going to get – I think Garrett will break the sack record in that game.
Who's suspended off of that offense in Pittsburgh for 2 games right now?
I don't think they need him. I don't think they need him. They're going to do what we did. They're just going to run – what's his face? Kenneth Walker repeatedly.
They're going to force Pittsburgh to just run the ball. They're not going to be able to throw. They have a good safety tandem. They have a good cornerback tandem. They have very good. They have a good defense. I keep telling you, don't forget that. They have a very good defense. But Aaron is not Josh right now. Josh is in his prime. He has no weapons. DK was the only weapon on their offense. They still got to score. Who's going to score for Pittsburgh?
I'm just telling you, dude. It's not going to surprise me at all. If
that week
18 game,
and every time it comes to fruition, every single time, everything I prophesize. I am the prophet. Trust me. Do not be surprised if the Cleveland Browns beat Pittsburgh on Sunday.
You found Brown.
I want to go on record here and say I have nothing to do with what he just said. So when you go there and they tell you to go to hell, literally, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Hey, listen, name a time I've been wrong on this podcast.
Well, considering I haven't ever been on here, you were just wrong earlier when you called the Patriots frauds.
I mean,
you're the only one out of 4 that calls them not frauds in this panel. So who's the odd one out?
I mean, if we go to some of your wrestling picks, Reese, you're a fraud quite a bit, but we won't go there.
Hey, wrestling is choiced by the doggone organization. I know how football works. Trust me. Cleveland, do not be surprised if Cleveland beats Pittsburgh.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think Cleveland beats Pittsburgh either.
Okay. No. No weapons. You think they're going to beat Pittsburgh? They're going to beat Cleveland with no weapons, and they're going to run the ball. Myles Garrett, who's going to probably have 6 sacks in this game, 2 strip fumbles on Rodgers in this game. I'm surprised. I don't think Rodgers even survives the game. Be honest with you, I think he gets sacked.
I mean, that's better for us.
Let's take a moment then to talk about that. So we already obviously talked a bit about the game there, but so the Steelers did end up winning that game 29-24 against the Lions, and we'll use this opportunity to go around the league, brought to you by Sean's Mustache. So with that, Steelers win that game 29-24, pretty much all but locking up that AFC North division crown there. They just have to win one of the next 2 games. And even if Baltimore wins out, it may not matter if Pittsburgh just wins this Cleveland game, as we were talking about next week. So
if I'm Baltimore, I'm telling Lamar, sit out. We're good. We're good for the rest of the year. Oh, one more thing with the Bills. Hey, Brandon Cooks, give him his papers. See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Butterfingers out of here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Was it 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row? This guy's had an opportunity to catch deep passes, and he's dropped every last one of them. Actually, outside the first one he got in the first game he played, he caught that one. Outside of that, nothing.
Would you rather have Coleman
and Josh is putting it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Well, I don't understand, but that was the whole point of you not taking Gabe out. I'd have put Gabe in that game.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, Gabe's catching that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I have no idea what they were doing this week. None. Sorry, you can go back to the NFL now.
No, you're good. So that pretty much all but eliminates the Lions from postseason contention at this point. I mean, San Francisco picks up a win tonight, and just a handful of things go a certain way next week, I mean, the Lions are done. They're out. They will not make it. Green Bay just has to win one more game, and the Lions are done. They cannot make the postseason, which is wild to me because they were the 1 seed last year.
It shows you how much your coordinators really mean to a team.
Yeah.
Which takes us to we lost Reese.
Got that Kmart connection. Guy gets his fucking Wi-Fi from he messages in here getting my charger. Yeah, I put my phone on the charger before we started this thing because I knew we were doing it.
Is he plugging it into a potato?
This guy goes and gets his Wi-Fi from Family Dollar, and all of a sudden it's the phone needs to be charged.
So then we briefly touched on it, but the Patriots all but ended the Ravens season there as well, and the Patriots did secure their playoff spot last night, getting to 12-3, and all they have left now are the Jets and the Dolphins. And it looks pretty bleak for the Bills to take the division. So
yeah,
Patriots certainly aren't going to lose to the Jets, but so the Patriots just need to win one more game and they lock up the division.
Ravens should have won.
Oh yeah. They shouldn't have pulled Henry, and they would have won the game.
Do we think Harbaugh is going to be done there?
I mean, he's been there for 18 years?
Yeah, I mean,
he's the fall guy for this.
I mean, in the eyes of the fans, it's got to be Lamar, right? It's got to be Lamar. If you're, what are you thinking right now? If you're a fan, you live in Baltimore, or you're a fan of the Baltimore Ravens. What are you thinking right now? Who are you blaming right now? Are you blaming Harbaugh or are you blaming Lamar?
I mean,
a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have pulled, arguably one of the best running backs in the league out when there's no reason to do that. Again, like I said earlier with that's as bad as Pete Carroll not handing Marshawn Lynch the ball when you're on the friggin' 1 or 2 yard line. You got to hand that guy the ball. You give that ball to Henry. You let Henry beat the piss out of him in the last of the fourth quarter, and I think you win that game. I think you win that game by 3.
Yeah.
So that's a Harbaugh decision, and that's a him problem. But yes, Lamar is definitely very much to blame. He's too soft. I mean, I get it. Guys get hurt and shit like that, but like Reese was saying, if this guy gets a friggin' splinter, all of a sudden he's out of the game and he's done, and he can't come back for the next couple of weeks. And you can't be that soft in the NFL, bro. If that's the case, man, go somewhere else. Go play indoor or some shit. Go play some touch football or something because you're not built for the NFL.
I just want to say this. I heard everything you said, Vinny.
Whoa, what's up there, track phone?
Let me point this out, okay? First of all, you're on one of your little kids' tablets right now, doing a freaking Zoom, doing a podcast right now. So let's hold off, okay? On the Bills.
First of all,
this is coming from the guy that walks around with a Brady jersey. That's right, Bills Mafia. This is an imposter that's sitting in this podcast right now.
Oh, fucking imposter here. No imposter here.
We're tired of you fake Bills fans stepping into our space and trying to take over.
All right. First of all, listen here, track phone. We're not gonna talk about that. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't care what you say. Brady's the best quarterback to ever do it until Josh beats every one of his records.
Yeah.
Okay. You get up off your knees, buddy.
There's no denying that. There's no denying that at all. You can't tell me Brady's the best one to ever do it. I don't give a shit what you say. Now, I am a Bills fan through and through. Always have been, always will be, even when they fucking suck. Okay. So we're not gonna go there.
So back to the Baltimore thing. I'm still of the mind that Lamar is still given up partially on that team.
Yeah, Reese, we were just quickly saying, who do you think that, if you're listening to Baltimore radio this morning, who are they blaming, Lamar or Harbaugh?
I think a lot goes on Lamar. I mean, the guy is just not there for their team. He's just not. And when your quarterback isn't existent, your franchise quarterback, he's just not there to support your team, especially in a time like this when you're making a playoff run. He pulls himself out the game because he got a little hit in his ribs. Like, come on now. I thought at least he'd be out maybe a series, come back maybe after halftime. But this dude sat out the rest of the game. Come on, dude. You're trying to get in the playoffs. That tells me you're not sold. You're not sold. Henry is trying his hardest to keep that team going. And I think that's part of the reason why he fumbles the ball a lot, is because he's trying too hard to score touchdowns. And when you don't have Lamar Jackson helping you out, you're going to try and do more than you need to. And I think a lot of that has to do with Henry. He was never known as a fumbling running back up until this year.
Yeah.
And it started
this year's bad.
Yeah, I think Lamar. I think Lamar gave up on the Ravens.
I think so.
Yeah.
You saw it in the Chiefs game. Like, that was the very first time you saw him basically give up on the team. And that team hadn't been the same since, with him going out for his hamstring injury. And then even when he came back, I mean, yeah, they won a couple of games, but the whole team just looked off. Like, they did not look like the two-time MVP that Lamar allegedly is.
Well, he was handed one of those MVPs. One of those were handed. Let's be honest. And again, I've always said I think Lamar Jackson is overrated for what they prop him up as. He's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. And that's where the problem is. And people put him on this pedestal saying he's a top 5 quarterback. He's not a top 5 quarterback.
No.
His skill set, he'll never be a top 5 quarterback. You remove the legs from this guy, he's not slicing and dicing up anybody. He's never done that.
Yeah, and the older he gets, the harder that's going to be for him. I mean, same age as Josh, right? So like once that dude gets over 30, I mean, he is not going to be able to do what he could do in his, when he was 25. It's not going to happen.
I'll be honest with you, with the amount of injuries he claims to have, he probably shouldn't be functional next season. I mean, this guy claims he has an injury every week. Yeah. They showed the list of injuries. Remember, they showed it during the game of all these injuries he's had. Every week he's had a different injury. It's like, what? He had injuries in weeks he didn't even play. Like, what are we doing?
You're absolutely right. Like shut him down then if that's the case. I mean,
that's what I would do. Just let Huntley take over and just run out the rest of the year. I'll be honest with you. This is going to be a weird offseason. I think you're going to see some quarterbacks get moved this offseason.
Because we're gonna get to a couple of the other ones for sure.
Yeah, because teams are preparing for that 2027 draft. And if you're a bad team with a bad quarterback, you're going to be dumping off some like Tua's definitely getting traded. We know Tua's going to get traded. I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow at this point, Burrow might get traded too.
Yeah.
He very well might get traded for draft picks for 2027. You're going to see a lot of teams making moves, especially teams that have been in the playoffs in years, dumping off a lot of capital to other teams because they want draft picks for next year to get in that top 10 to get one of those quarterbacks. And I can guarantee you this offseason is going to be a circus.
So we had the Texans almost blow it to the Raiders 23-21. That game, I caught the end of that game, and the only thing I really have to say is the Raiders got completely robbed by a call. Like very late in that game, like there was a complete nonsense call where they had Jacksonville. They had the Texans backed all the way up, third and like a mile, with like 4 minutes left in the game, down by 2, and some bogus, phantom defensive pass interference call proceeded to give Houston a first down, which allowed them to basically run off the clock at that point.
It sure did. Yep, I agree. It was a bad call. It helped them get out of that position because if the Raiders got the ball back, I think they score.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ashton Jeanty was running crazy.
He was. He was having a great day.
They were doing what the Bills should have been doing: run the ball against them. They're a small defensive front. You just run the ball, and the Bills, in my opinion, they do have a better defense than the Raiders because we got a better secondary than the Raiders do. But they were running through them. That's what they should have been doing with James Cook and Ray Davis and Johnson. But for some reason, I don't know, man. He did the same thing this week. They stopped running the ball in the second half. The Raiders kept running the ball. But if they didn't get that bad call, Mike, you're absolutely right. I think they win that game because they couldn't stop.
They win that game too. I absolutely think they win that game.
Every time he touched the ball, he's getting 20, 30 yards on a play, whether it's catching or running.
Well, I think that the NFL really needs to look into making these pass interference calls something that's reviewable.
Yep.
Because this is getting out of control. Like I mean, I can understand shit like defensive holding and things like that not being reviewable, but these pass interference calls, man, they are getting out of hand.
And they're game changers.
Well, and there needs to be a clear definition. They need to be very clear because some of these refs will call pass interference on the slightest things, and then other refs will literally let one of these defenders maul a guy and let him get away with it. So, like,
Yeah,
there needs to be a clear definition of exactly what the NFL wants to call pass interference exactly, and it needs to be followed strictly. And it needs to be something that's reviewable. I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be reviewable as in the head ref looking at it. It should be something New York should be reviewing.
well, don't forget now. Was it our game where New York reviewed it? Said it wasn't. Wait, first it was called not. Was it our game? When it was a play was called not a catch. Then it was said by the
Yeah, I
No,
remember
review
what you're
that it
talking
was a
ours
about.
catch.
was
There
the
was a
safety
Kincaid
thing.
catch, right?
The safety thing
No, I thought it
where
was the Kincaid catch.
no. It was the Shedeur was initially ruled not a safety, then they changed it to a safety, and then they changed it away from a safety again.
Yep.
But there was another play where remember Kincaid caught a pass on the sideline and his foot you could see the tip of his shoe.
Oh, that was clearly a catch. That was
Right,
clearly a catch. He dragged the foot.
right. And the tip of his shoe hit the green before he went out of bounds. So I'm just like, well, if you could JJ Watt brought up the same thing that popped in my head was if you toe tap just the tips of your toes on the sideline, it's a catch. But
Yes.
you're gonna tell me if you drag your foot, it's not
Well, I
the
mean,
bottom of
okay,
your foot.
and now let's go with that nonsense and go back and watch. We can go back and watch Chad Ochocinco, who was the king of dragging his toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another one they got to explain it. And even when you have an NFL player, a former NFL player, say he has no idea what the rule is as far as catches when it comes to toe taps on the sideline, that's something wrong. If you have players who are even questioning, I don't know what to call.
I mean,
Even
let's
the
be
review
honest.
guy even came and said, I don't know what I don't know. I agree with you, JJ Watt. I agree with you.
Well, let's
These
look
refs,
at
I don't know.
let's look at what it is. A catch in the NFL is a catch where you control the ball in bounds, as long as 2 feet are in bounds. It doesn't matter if you drag it, tap it, twist it. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
Yep.
Whether you drag the toe, tap the toe, it doesn't matter. If you got control of the ball and both toes hit in bounds, that's a catch.
Yeah, it's confusing to me. And like I said, if you do the tips of your toes, how many times you see Gabe Davis do it? Tips of the toes right at the edge of the sideline, it's a catch.
How
But when
many
you
of these
turn and
receivers
your
they
foot is
literally
flat and it
practice that?
slides out, I don't know. NFL's a mess.
These receivers practice that catching the ball with their toes tapping on the sideline.
And what do
They
you call
they
that? I agree with you. I agree with you
yeah
100%.
yeah
That
that's crazy.
I agree. The Raiders got they got robbed. They absolutely got robbed. They saved them on that 3rd and 32 over the hell that was. It was like 3rd and 32 or some weird stuff
It
like
was
that.
it was it was it was craziness.
Yeah, and they sat there and said a pat. I'm like, why would the refs just gonna interfere yourselves into this game?
Well,
Houston's about to lose this
that's the type of shit right there though that makes people think that the NFL is scripted.
game.
Mhm.
Yep.
When you watch stuff like that happening, that's where the NFL looks scripted because you're allowing a game that would clearly be won by the other team is now affected because of a referee call that they can't show you an honest. Oh, we can't show you a replay where you see this honest pass interference.
Yeah, and we had
And when you
commentators even saying it too during the game. There's something wrong.
yeah. Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I
no,
said like they need to do something like having New York be able to go in and overturn some of these PI calls. I mean, because at the end of the
That's what
day,
those are.
well, you got about as many PI calls. You probably have less PI calls in a game than you do touchdowns. If we could review every touchdown, why can't we review every PI call?
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I agree, but I
Um,
mean the problem though, and I get why they don't want to have everything reviewed because otherwise the games will probably last 4 hours. You're
yeah,
probably
no,
gonna,
you know,
you're gonna spend a lot
you're
of
not
time trying to review it.
yeah, no, you're not wrong, but I mean, I agree with Vinny's point though as well. There needs to be major upgrades to the rules, and I think when I don't want to go too far down the weeds here because we still have a lot to get to. But I mean, the NFL would do itself a big service if there was a bit more transparency because you're absolutely right. The fans and even some members of the media who are a bit more bold, like, you're believe it or not, your Joe Bucks and your Troy Aikmans, who have no problem calling out bullshit now, which is amazing to me to hear Troy Aikman call out bullshit on Monday Night Football. But I digress. So moving on to, and we won't touch every game here. We're just going to look at some of the key matchups here. But Jacksonville beating Denver. Jacksonville might be the best team in the AFC. Thoughts?
They didn't really beat anybody these last 4 games. They were all bad teams.
I don't think that Trevor Lawrence.
They smoked the Chargers and they smoked Denver.
I don't count neither one of them being echelon. Neither one of them are. Chargers are not, to me, a number 1 top 5 team. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with Reese on that. I don't think the Chargers are there. Denver was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't think they were going to beat Denver. But
Well, I didn't think Jacksonville's deep offense was going to go through their defense the way it did. That was the shocking part.
They
I
smoked
wasn't
them.
shocked with Denver's offense.
They kicked their ass up and down the field. I mean,
But
it was a great game from them.
Great game. I think that row of games they're getting all this credit for, there weren't really too many contenders in there.
It makes me wonder if Denver was looking past Jacksonville.
I don't know about that. I mean, Jacksonville's the 3 seed. Jacksonville's on a 6-game winning streak right now, and they have beaten Denver, the Jets, the Colts, and that was with Jones, right? Titans, Cardinals, Chargers. They beat the Chiefs. But then you know what? Earlier in the year, they beat the Chiefs when they were still contending. They beat the 49ers, and they beat Houston.
The Chiefs haven't really been shit all year.
And the Niners, they didn't have any players when they played them.
So I mean, they've got some quality wins, though. I guess my point is that who's better than them in the AFC? I think they have the best roster in the AFC, and they clearly have the second best quarterback going into the postseason.
I don't trust Lawrence to stay consistent, though, is the problem. He's never shown that he can have a long enough stretch of consistency to be fully trustworthy.
True, but I mean, you could say the same thing about Justin Herbert.
100%. I agree with Herbert is the exact same way. I think Lawrence and Herbert are both quarterbacks cut from the same cloth.
But then my point is then Bo Nix and Drake May are basically completely unproven in the postseason. Bo Nix has had one game where he got blown out last year. Drake May has not been to the postseason yet. And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. We're not even going to really count him. So
if I had, I'll be honest, if I had to pick out of those guys and, excluding Josh, if I had to pick somebody that I would trust over Lawrence, I would honestly, even though it hasn't been proven in the postseason, I would trust May over Lawrence.
Dude, I'm looking at their
Jacksonville.
They have not really beat anybody. Teams that they played against that were good, they lost to. This was their first real proven win in the entire season.
They still they still have a shot at the 1 seed, which is which is interesting as hell to me.
Absolutely. I mean, they barely beat the Chiefs. I mean, they barely
beat them though.
And that came down to like a really lucky breakdown at the end of the game.
The Rams ran them out of the stadium. They won by a point against the Raiders. A point against the Raiders. Chargers, they blew the Chargers out, but I don't count the Chargers. The Cards, really? You beat the Cards by 3? 3?
Dude, we just beat Cleveland by 3, so I'm not giving anybody shit for beating anybody, but
no, I understand that, but
at the end of the day, a win is a win.
Yep.
But we beat playoff teams this year. They haven't been proven any. They haven't proven themselves yet.
Yeah,
I think Denver was overrated. I'll be honest with you. Josh smoked that defense last year in the playoffs. So
that's this is a good opportunity then to talk about the let's do our playoff breakdown then, at least for the AFC, and we'll get to that. So right now the way it goes, we would have the Patriots as the 2 seed, the Jags as the 3 seed, Pittsburgh as the 4, the Chargers as the 5, the Bills as the 6, and the Texans as the 7. So you'd have the Texans going into Foxborough right now. I got to imagine the line on that game is probably the Patriots by 3. I would say 3 or 4, probably with an over-under in the around 40. Yeah. I would think they'd probably want a lower scoring game there. So what is your immediate gut reaction to how that game goes? That Texans defense against New England.
New England wins only because they're playing outside in the cold. Houston is not going to be a good team in the winter in December. Trust me. They're going to have to go to these cold weather teams. If they have to go to a cold weather team in the playoffs this year in their first game, they're going to lose. They will not be able to run that defense in the snow. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. I would take the Patriots in that game too.
And I told you, and that's the only reason I picked the Patriots. It's going to be a close game, but that's the only reason I picked the Patriots is because the same thing I said about the Bills. I played Houston in the playoffs only if we were at home with them.
Yeah, Sean.
I think Houston wins. I think their defense wins it for them.
I hope so.
Then we'd have obviously.
I mean,
the Bills.
I would love to see Houston win that game, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. Then we'd have the Bills going to Jacksonville, which I don't know who would be favored in that game. Maybe the Bills like -1 or -2. And I would imagine the line would be around like 52, probably a relatively big line for that game. I mean, wild card Buffalo Bills are pretty much unstoppable at this point. So, I mean, the Bills have never lost in the wild card round other than, that first year against the Texans. So I feel like the Bills probably would win that game, but I mean, love to hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. I don't mind going to Jacksonville. It's warm weather. It's not super overly hot this time of year down there. I think the Bills beat them. I absolutely do. I take Josh Allen over Lawrence all day.
Yeah, I think in that game, I think you see like kind of what you touched on, Mike. I think you see playoff Josh at that point, and he's a whole different animal. I think that you see him come in there, and again, whether the game plan is good or bad, I think you see Josh put the team on his back, especially in it at the very least the wild card round. He puts the team on his back and gets the job done.
I agree.
Then we'd have the Chargers going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. And would the Chargers and Justin Herbert actually get their first playoff win against the Steelers?
Nope.
Well, you know what's funny? They're both the same team.
They're
the exact same identical team. It's the way their franchises ran, the way they're running offense, the way they're running defense. It's the exact. I don't know. I think that's a pick'em game. I don't even think they'd have a favorite. I think it's a pick'em game.
I think the Chargers would be favored by a couple points.
Well, it's going to be 1-1. It's going to be 1-1. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be 1.5, 1.5, one plus and minus. It's going to be a pick'em game.
I think that Aaron Rodgers becomes the difference maker in that game. I think he wins that game.
Yep. I think that you can count on Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, I think, to be a little bit better than Herbert would be.
Yep.
I would lean towards the Chargers only because the Steelers are not good in the playoffs. They haven't been good in the playoffs in a very long time. And they do not have a track record over the last decade of being very good in their wild card round. The Bills have eliminated them, twice already in the wild card?
But they haven't had Aaron Rodgers either.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is not Aaron Rodgers anymore, man.
Yeah, but he's still better than Herbert.
No. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Okay.
Yeah, you're not letting me
Aaron
get away with
Rodgers
that.
is a shell of himself right now. He's a shell of himself. He's not the same guy. You got to get rid of the past. You got to get rid of it. Brady's ruined it for 40-year-old quarterbacks because now you expect all of them to look like Brady did in his 40s. He does not look like Aaron Rodgers from 5 years ago, even 6 years ago. He doesn't look anything like him.
And no, but I still trust him and his experience and his ability over Justin Herbert in the first round of the playoffs.
I take Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen over his wide receivers.
I don't know. You know what? I mean, I don't know how much I completely agree with Rodgers being better, but the Chargers are just one of these teams that just consistently cannot live up to the moment, and they fall apart all the time. Like
I agree.
The Chargers had 6 interceptions. Like he led the league last year in the least amount of picks. Justin Herbert last year, he had 6 all year. And he threw 4 in that wild card game last year.
Yep.
4. Like, I mean, the Chargers are a dumpster fire. Like, there's a running joke with it, like, Chargers gonna Charger. I mean, just continually.
I mean, there's guys like Josh who, when it comes to those types of games, he steps up to the plate and becomes better. And then there's guys like Herbert who fall apart. And when you got a guy like Herbert who's going to fall apart, I don't think Rodgers falls apart as much as Herbert does.
Yeah, but
So that's why I picked the Steelers.
I still think that I think you have to go by the weapons because neither team's defense is incredibly strong. And I think you have to compare the weapons that both quarterbacks have. Rodgers has to score. They're not a very high scoring team. They're just not. And I just don't think Rodgers can hold up in the playoffs, not with the present roster that they have. He's going to lose in the first round. It's guaranteed. I don't care who they play. They're not a good team.
Yeah, I disagree with you.
Now, the one thing I said, you can guarantee the Steelers to make the playoffs, but you can't guarantee them to win in the playoffs.
I'm gonna personally guarantee that if Aaron Rodgers plays if the Pittsburgh Steelers play the Chargers, I'm gonna personally guarantee that Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers get the job done and beat the Chargers.
So that's a good segue, I guess, then, because if it goes this way, then either one of those teams would have to go to New England then in the divisional round. And do you think either one of those teams can beat the Patriots?
Nope.
I think the Chargers will have a better chance than Pittsburgh. Honestly.
I'm kind of with you a little bit. I don't know. Like that.
You're putting me in a corner and I got to pick one. I think the Chargers have a better chance of beating New England. But you're talking about two, like I said, both Chargers and Steelers are the exact same team. They run the exact same type of offense, same type of defense.
Yeah. I mean, Chargers have shown that they can beat big teams when it matters. They beat Kansas City in the opening game at the first game of the season there. They can come through and they can win them when it matters. It just seems like they're not consistent with it. So, I mean, I think they have the better chance out of the two, but I don't know that I trust them to do it.
I feel like it really depends on how the Patriots are going to look in that first game against Houston. You know, like how Drake May actually looks. Like if he actually looks like the moment's not too big for him. But I still feel like I would probably pick the Patriots to beat either one of those teams, which makes me physically ill to pick the Patriots to go to the AFC Championship game. But I feel like that would probably happen. But then, which takes us to the Bills and the Broncos then.
Yeah, I mean, wait, Bills versus Broncos?
The Bills would be going to Mile High.
No, we'll blow the Broncos out. They can't beat Josh. Bo Nix does not scare me whatsoever.
Yeah, go ahead, Vinny.
I don't think we blow them out. I think it's a little bit closer of a game than you think, but I do think that we take the win again. This is the worst part. Every game you're talking about, you're hinging everything on Josh Allen being Superman. But I do think that he gets the job done against the Broncos.
Yeah, I think.
But he doesn't have to be Superman this year. He's got James Cook.
Yeah, I mean, I do like what the Bills are doing as far as I would like them to continue to I can't remember who it was that said it, but they're almost emulating the old Patriots with the ding and dump.
Matt Ryan said it.
Yes, I really, really, really agree with that, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that type of offense as long as we continue to use James Cook, continue to allow him to run the ball the way he does.
And also, let's find out what happened to Henderson. Is he going to, because he's got a concussion. He took his head banged off that ground pretty doggone hard on that tackle and got knocked out that game. Question is not, will he be up for this next game? And he's primarily he's their horse on that offense.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Vinny, because I was actually going to ask you guys about that earlier. But no, I think that Buffalo's offense is good enough to beat Denver's defense, and I think Buffalo's defense is just adequate enough to beat Denver's like anemic offense, because Denver's offense is 100% their weak point.
Yeah. So then that takes us to the AFC Championship game in Foxborough between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots, with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And I think every single Bills fan's blood pressure is going to probably cause their brains to explode if Drake May and the second-year Patriots, first-year coach, are going to be between them and going to a Super Bowl. I
Oh,
may have to take the week off.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. That is nothing but sweet chin music to me. Go ahead. Let's go into New England. Just like we ripped them out during the season. Let's rip their hearts out right there in that spot. Because they're not going to be there next year. I can tell you that. They will not be in that spot next year.
I think I think the only problem in that game for us, to be honest with you, at that point, um, in Foxborough, I think the only issue for us is going to be McDermott.
Yeah. I mean,
and
that's
whether or
the
not Vrabel outcoaches him, which is more than likely the case, is that he will be outcoached. We have to hope that our offense and our defense play well enough where his piss poor coaching doesn't matter.
I mean, it's extremely sad to say, but every year come the playoffs, Sean McDermott is this team's Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay. So then I would assume then, yeah, we probably would all favor the Bills to win that game. So with that, then just quickly to run through who we would see on the other side. You have Green Bay going to Chicago. Green Bay is a shell of themselves right now. I mean,
Chicago beats them.
everybody on Green Bay is injured. I think Chicago beats them easy in Chicago.
Yeah.
Then you have San Francisco going to Philly. I lean 49ers here.
Yeah.
I'm leaning to it. Again, it's a West Coast team traveling to the West Coast, East Coast in the winter. They're not beating them. The Niners will lose if they have to travel to the East Coast.
This could
I don't
change.
think so.
This could change.
Yeah,
If it's a snow game, I agree with Reese. If it's a snow game, I think if it's just cold, I think they'll be okay. But I think if it's a snow game, I do agree with Reese. If it's a snow game, the Niners lose that one.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then we'd have the Rams going to Carolina.
Who
I
cares?
think Carolina would win.
I mean, they did beat them earlier in the year, but
man, Panthers.
I feel like I think the Rams win that game. I think it's safe to say the Rams win that game.
Probably big.
Carolina's just happy to be there.
Yeah, but they're sneaking up on people, man. They're sneaking up. I just don't understand. From when we played them to what they look like, I don't understand how we blew that team out the way we did. And they're like almost beating everybody they're playing since that game.
I don't know. I still pick the Rams.
I
think I picked the Rams too.
I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Smart money would be on the Rams.
Yeah,
all the money would be on the Rams. All the betting money would be on the Rams.
I don't know.
Which is all the more reason why Carolina will win.
Man. Yeah, I might put some money on the dog on that one. Honestly, I'm be honest with you, man.
They're gonna be like a 10-point dog too. It was just crazy.
I don't know, man. I mean, the way Carolina's playing right now, and them having to travel all the way over. Like I said, West Coast teams traveling all the way over to the East Coast, they do never fare well. Their records are not that great.
Yeah, you know what the other thing is, though? They'll be there for a while, and Carolina's not a cold city, you know.
But it's just the travel. I don't know. There's like a scientific study on it.
No, you're right, but I feel like they'll be there for the whole week. Like, it's not like they're going to travel the day before. They'll be there the whole week.
Yeah, I get it. I know what you're saying, but I wouldn't say they're another team. I don't know what they are, and that's why it's hard for me to say they're going to beat who or lose to who. And again, that's another one. Wouldn't shock me if they beat the Rams. They beat the Rams. I mean, they've been sneaking up on everybody.
Okay. So then you have either the Rams or the Panthers. We're going to say the Rams going to Seattle.
Seattle wins.
Seattle wins.
Seattle's
playing good football, man.
Seattle's
playing good football, man.
You're gonna tell me that you trust Darnold in that spot.
I'm gonna trust Darnold that's playing this year in that spot. Yes,
dude, the man throws up on himself every time he gets the spotlight. Throws up on himself.
I'm telling you right now, Seattle's got a great run game. They're playing good ball. And their defense is great. I'm definitely, as much as I hate to admit it, because my wife is a Seattle Seahawks fan, and I I hate to admit it, but they are playing good football right now. I take Seattle in that game.
Okay, can I say this? Where was Darnold last year?
I don't give a shit about last year. It's what
No,
he's doing this
I do.
year.
No. He has a history. What was his team? What was he last year? He was
Well,
looking
that's
like
why they
all
call.
world.
That's why they
All
call it
world.
history.
They were talking about MVP possibly for Darnold last year. And what did he do? Throw up on himself in the playoffs. He's going to
Yeah.
throw up on himself again this year.
I don't
New year.
I don't think that happens. I think they win that game. I think Seattle wins that game. I
feel
hope
like
it comes. I hope when we see that game, I can't wait to watch that game and come back and talk about it afterwards.
I
I
really
think
do hope I agree with Vinny. I really hope we get Seattle Rams 3 because I mean that game this past Thursday or whenever it was one of the best games of the year. It was a fantastic game to watch, which would have us then Philly going to Chicago.
Chicago wins.
I think Chicago would win.
I think Chicago's going to the Super Bowl.
I think Seattle is.
So then you'd have, yeah, I mean, Reese, where are you at with that? Philly going to Chicago.
I would probably lean towards Chicago just because of the state Philly's in right now.
Okay. I agree with you. I think Chicago would probably beat them too. Chicago beat them a few weeks ago, so I would assume they probably do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So then you'd have Chicago going to Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm going Chicago on this one. I think Chicago's the better team.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game.
So then your Super Bowl is the Buffalo Bills versus either the Seahawks or the Bears. What matchup do you want?
So the
Bills Seahawks.
I would rather see Bills versus the Bears. And that's just for personal reasons. Because I don't want to sit next to my wife and watch her in a Seahawks fucking jersey. So I'm not sure I'm willing to. I'm not sure I'm willing to sit there next to the navy blue and lime green. So at the very least, I could sit next to her dad, who is a Bears fan. So
There you go.
yeah, I'd rather sit next to her dad, who's a Bears fan, than sit next to her wearing a Seahawks jersey during the Super Bowl.
Reese?
Oh, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I think we beat both of them.
Look at this guy. Just picking the Bills to win the whole damn thing.
Listen, I would put in the playoffs, you got to put your quarterback against the other team's quarterback. Who's the better quarterback?
Oh, I mean, I think of every other than Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen is the best quarterback going into the postseason by a lot. By a lot.
Yeah. I would if I had to pick any quarterback in the NFL right now to ride my team on, it would be Josh Allen 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's not just because I'm a Bills fan. That's just because reality is reality. He, in my opinion, I mean, Matthew Stafford's great and all, but in my opinion, Josh Allen is elite. There is a difference, big difference between him and the rest of these quarterbacks in the league. They just can't do what he does.
Yeah, I agree. So that is our show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Mr. Pex Vin for joining us for this episode. We'll definitely see him again more as we get closer to the postseason. I'd love to get him and Paulie on to have a little discourse here, which we will very likely do when we have our playoff pre-shows. So thank you guys again so much for joining us. As always, leave your comments down below. We do read and respond to all of them. And with that, have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.